What do these three groups have in common? Well, for one, I end up talking about them when I see them doing certain things, and it's become a topic of conversation with people when I'm dining out somewhere, or where I'm shopping for ice cream, or when I'm watching a cringe video like ma'am, it's ma'am kind of thing, when I am at the traffic lights, when I'm trying to drive. So there is an element to all these groups that binds them all together. One personality flaw to bind them all. Okay, so the first ones I'll get into are vegans. Look, if you're vegan, do your thing. I don't care. You're kind of annoying sometimes, but that's fine. And you'll know if you know a vegan because they will tell you. And they will tell you within the first 10 seconds of you meeting them, like it's some badge of honor. And I don't doubt that it is. It's pretty freaking hard to be a vegan, isn't it? I mean, everybody hates you, so just kidding. And to be fair, the things I have seen vegan restaurants come up with, or vegan people come up with, are pretty good. It's not just a salad. I have a vegan friend. I haven't seen her for a long time, but I have this vegan friend, and she came over and we had one of those, what is it called? Potluck. So what you do is you grab a bunch of different people and everybody brings a thing. So you might want to bring a sweet or a savory dish, and you all kind of put it on the table and have like a feast and just taste everybody's food. And she tells us, oh, I'm bringing vegan cheese. Everyone's like, okay. Well, we're all pretty easygoing. We'll try anything once, sort of thing. And so she brings this cheese along, and it was honestly, absolute worst thing I've ever fucking eaten. I don't know what the hell it was meant to be. It was kind of like plastic, but it smelled like poo, and I ate some of it to appease her because she went to the effort. It's hard to make vegan anything, and there's a reason for that. But it's hard to make vegan anything, so I appreciated her effort. I just couldn't finish my little piece that I had like a sliver of it and kind of like put it to the edge of the plate. And then I thought, well, maybe it's me, I'm being a dick. But then I looked around and everybody else had kind of done the same, and she kind of was like conceding, like, yeah, it's okay if you guys don't like it. I tried, sort of thing. But one of the other things that she brought was, is it called cannelloni? Cannelloni. It's like a rolled up kind of pasta thing with meat inside, kind of like a sausage roll, but it's pasta rolled up. And I think it's like an Italian dish, but she made it in the vegan way. And she made some with meat for people that eat meat, and she made some vegan ones, which were just, I think probably something like spinach and feta, something that they're allowed to eat. Sorry, not allowed to eat, that they prefer to eat. But rather than some sort of meat gravy thing all over the top of it, she made this gravy with lentils in it, and the consistency and the flavor and the color and everything, it really did seem like meat. And out of the two versions of the dish, I really enjoyed the vegetable one better, and I was surprised at that, and I ate so much of it. I do know vegans, sometimes you can do good stuff with what you've got, and it's forced you to become creative. Here is my problem. It's completely unnecessary. Unless you're doing it for what you perceive to be a health benefit, so you've limited your consumption of red meat or processed foods, and you're going the whole organic route as well. But being vegan is a choice. So you weren't brought into it, say, in a religious context where you can't eat certain things, which I think in this day and age is kind of very hard to do and quite impractical, and people should really kind of modify that. But it's not a religious thing. If it's not a health thing, you're just deciding, no, for my own personal reasons, I don't want to eat animal products. That's on you. So when I see people come into like the ice cream section and they actually ask people, hey, where's the vegan ice cream? Or where's the vegan section for vegan chicken or vegan meat? When you see vegan on something or meat free, for me, I see the words chemical shitstorm, because that's what it is. To get those flavors and consistencies, a lot of the time, they put a lot of filler, they put a lot of preservatives, they put a lot of flavoring and man-made chemicals in there to make you feel like you're getting the experience rather than just having a piece of chicken. You chose to be vegan. You chose that lifestyle. You chose that life. So with that life comes no freaking ice cream and no cheese. Go and eat the grass or whatever it is that you're allowed to eat or you feel like you should be eating. Transgender, transsexual, whatever the politically correct term is right now. People that live as the opposite sex or want to live as the opposite sex or try to live as the opposite sex or plan to live as the opposite sex. Remember that ma'am video that came out? And I said ma'am. where there is a person that's trying to, I guess, vaguely present as female, but they're clearly still very male or exude male energy, and they're big and tall, and they haven't even tried to pitch up their voice or anything. They just basically look like a man that's put on girls' clothes. So the kid at the counter, he looks like a regular GameStop kind of person, you know, little neck beard, little nerdy guy. He's not going to really fight back. I mean, it looks like he was very, very intimidated by what was happening. And props to him, he did manage to speak up for himself and say, hey, I didn't say sir, I said you guys as a collective, as a general term. Defend himself in that way. But he seemed very scared because he was confronted with this big person that was screaming in a very deep voice, telling him to call him something that did not appear to fit what the kid was saying. But the most important part of this video for me when I watched it, my main takeaway from this was the attitude. This person, this type of person, does whatever suits them in the moment. So, oh, I want you to call me ma'am. I want you to pretend you're seeing me present as a female. If you piss me off, I'm just going to revert back to, yeah, look mate, I can kick your ass. Which is literally what happened, because this person ends up saying, oh, let's take it outside and I'll show you what a man is. So which is it, Tiffany? Are you a ma'am or a man? Which one is it, mate? You can't have both. Same as vegans. Vegans, you're going to eat grass and stuff. You can't have my ice cream. Or bitch about local grocery stores that don't carry the foods that you want to eat, or don't import the foods that you want to eat. Or restaurants that don't serve the things that you want to eat. You pick to play on hard mode, it's going to be hard. And sometimes you can't make the rest of the 8 billion people on the planet bend to what you want. Same as old Tiffany at the GameStop. How invested were you ever in your persona or your lifestyle if you revert back to something else that serves you in the moment? And why should people follow you down that rabbit hole and respect your choices? So, you know, vegans, they want to eat vegan meals, and you should respect that and provide them with options that they can use when they chose the lifestyle, and actively work at trying to make regular people feel bad for eating meat. And old Tiffany out here trying to make a GameStop guy feel bad for accidentally referring to everyone as guys, and then snapping and doing a stereotypical guy thing in saying, oh, let's take it outside. And the last flip-floppy group that thinks they're better than you and is holier than thou are cyclists. I freaking hate you. Look, some of you are nice, some of you are decent people, but this is not the cobbled back streets of France. This is Australia. This is a wide brown land. Having a bike to get around is ridiculous. It is nothing but being powered by your own sense of virtue. And if it's about the climate, there's probably something you should look into about slowing down all the cars behind you and making them idle for so long while you pedal. The law is to ride single file down most roads. I've seen them ride two abreast on highways, which is illegal. But what gets to me is that these people that are so much better than you, they will ride that bike, they will stop all the traffic, they will slow down traffic for miles in peak hour when you're just trying to get home. Or on the flip side, trying to get to work, they will slow down everybody else. No thought, no care, no guilt for doing that kind of stuff. And because of the law where we have to give a wide berth and at least a metre when overtaking a cyclist, it makes them protected. So yet another protected different class that is allowed to exploit that title by acting like a freaking jackass. So what's inspired the cyclist portion of this is not only the things I've mentioned, but the fact that they will slow down everybody, and then when we all finally get to a light and it turns red, these dickheads jump off their bike and all of a sudden they're a pedestrian and they can just walk their bike through the lights, get ahead of everybody else and start the whole process again. So are you a vehicle or are you a person? And do you need the sidewalk or the path instead? Because you've already got that green square where you're allowed to stay in front of the traffic at the lights. So the traffic does cater for you, not only at the lights, but obviously on the street as well. Which is it? You're just going to flip-flop whatever suits you best in that moment. So there is a bit of mentality that is exactly the same between these three. You get me. I get so freaking angry at your dumb attitude and your selfish entitlement. And today I'd just like to share that with everybody. Don't want to be one of those people that's asking you to sub and like, but if you feel like commenting or liking, that would help me out. It'll give me the power to do more of these episodes.